Ik word er wel aan gepleegd. Right.
Nice, it's shachakal.
Yeah,
For what?
well, it's a shuffle.
The rice.
Why is this?
Yeah.
Of the Rebbe.
Because,
Are you sure?
it doesn't have wheat,
Yeah.
barley, or sorry.
From my last time I learned all
There's
about
opinions.
in summer.
There's different opinions on it.
If you have,
Chasanan, he says shachakal.
if you have a zonos and you have a dama, you do all three.
Yeah,
And shuffle.
Right?
We don't
Yeah,
have
here.
it. We don't have it.
Well,
you show.
Um,
We'll check it out later. Amen, amen. So we're based on Hashem, we're gonna learn now the last Fabrengen, the Rebbe Fabrengen was Shabbos Parshas Vayakhel, Tavshin and Beis. 1992 Shabbos Parshas Vayakhel was the last Fabrengen. Then 2 days later, the Rebbe had his stroke. So we're gonna learn the last Fabrengen of the Rebbe. What the Rebbe said as of now, very soon the Rebbe is going to come and say more sichas and more maimonim, but this is his last, what he spoke by the last full Fabrengen. There's obviously a lot of heroics we can learn out of this. The Rebbe, we see that he was Medayik according to the latest last things that he saw from his father-in-law. I saw something very, very interesting. The last time the Rebbe actually saw his father-in-law, the Rebbe Rayatz, was Friday, 10th Shabbat. The Rebbe Rayatz, the Stavrus, was Shabbos morning. And it was a camera video. There's a video there.
There's a video there.
There's a
Oh,
video,
I'm
you
so
do it
sorry.
before the clock.
I apologize. I had no idea.
75,000 people that were watching.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Mechila. I'm so sorry, guys. Mechila, I had no
We
idea.
understand it's better than each other.
Yeah,
Yes.
No problem, no problem. So, Yud Shvat in the morning, 8 o'clock was the Rebbe Rayatz's instalments. But Friday, the Rebbe, Tavshin Yud, 1950. But the day before, the Rebbe brought it into his father-in-law, Ed Meimer, that the Rebbe Rayatz prepared for Shabbos, for Yud Shvat. So you see, the Rebbe writes, he went inside the Friedrich Rebbe's room. It says, my father-in-law was sitting down by his table with his siddur opened, and the Rebbe says, which siddur? Siddur Torah Oyer. The first siddur they printed in America. Chabad printed the siddur Torah Oyer. The Rebbe said it was printed in the year Tavshin Aleph in New York. That's what the Rebbe writes exactly which siddur it is and what year it was printed. The Rebbe said the siddur was opened up, the page, Ayin Dalet, the page 74 in the siddur, and he was holding my Pasach Eliyah, and I gave him the mimer, and he shook with his head to me, and he was sitting on his chair by his table where he accepts legal for Yechidus. And when I'm reading this, what the Rebbe is writing, I'm thinking to myself, like, it's so important, all of these details. He was sitting on his chair in his room where he accepts legal for Yechidus. And he had a siddur printed in this year, in this print, in this page, and he looked at me and he shook his head. But the Rebbe, this was the last time he saw his father-in-law. He recorded every single detail. He wanted to, every single thing, exactly the way it was. Right, but later it is, this is why he said, I don't have to say it wrong, but this is like the last time he saw him. So he wanted to remember every, to preserve it. The last, so this is the last Fabrengen from the Rebbe, so we also need to really understand that there's something there's obviously, it says, I'll be part of the Machaveda, elementary halach, when someone is, telling someone how goodbye, so to speak, you should you should tell them something in halacha. So it says, it doesn't mean about halacha. Halacha is also Melashon Mahalach, to make someone move. So before you tell someone goodbye, you should give him something that's going to make him move. So obviously the Rebbe is not leaving, but this is the last message the Rebbe is giving us. Obviously there's something here, and very important for us. This is like the last message that we need to know till the Gula. Okay, so that Shabbos was Parshas Vayakhel, Tavshin Beis, a little bit different than this year. This year, Parshas Vayakhel and Pekudei are combined together. That year, Parshas Vayakhel was on his own, separate. It's a Shana Muberes, so they split Vayakhel on his own. So the Rebbe says, that what's the law for us from Vayakhel, either from Vayakhel and from Pekudei, and what's the difference if it's combined or separate? So the Rebbe says the person's avoid. What's our purpose? What's our purpose? What are we here for?
No mitzvot.
We do mitzvot.
Kaddish Shamayim.
Umchad Shem Shamayim. In the words of the Gemara, it says, "Ani nivreisi l'shamish eskoyni." I was created to serve my master. That's what we are for, and to make that the whole world also should serve its master. That's what the Rebbe says. That's what the Gemara says. We're here we're here. Ani nivreisi. Why were we created? To serve God, to serve Hashem, and to make that the whole world should serve Hashem. But in this itself, there's two ways someone could do this avodah of me serving God and making the whole world serve God. One way is in a way of Vayakhel, which the Rebbe is in other ways in a way of Pekudei. What's the difference? Vayakhel means to gather, to bring together, which means a yid. What does Vayakhel mean? A yid reveals the common denominator between every single person. How are we all here the same? How are we here all the same? How are we all the same? Because we're all here for one purpose. I'm not going into break down how you're different than him. You're this and you serve Hashem this way. And he's not, he serves Hashem different way. You're Sephardi and he's Ashkenazi and he's I don't know what. One's a Litvish, one guy's this, one does that. We're not getting into that. That is you're breaking things down. You're going into details over here. What does Vayakhel mean? That you're not going into the differences between one another. On the contrary, you're being makhil. You're coming to gather everyone together. To congregate everyone. I will show how everyone's the same. We're all here for one purpose. That's Vayakhel, to reveal how we're all here for the same purpose. And this brings Abbas Yisrael and Achdas Yisrael. You see, I'm a Jewish, you're Jewish. That's it. Vayakhel means to focus, first of all, how we're all here to serve Hashem the same way. We're all here for one purpose. That's Vayakhel, to serve Hashem. Pekudei means to count. So they would count, dissolve is one way, there's a certain measurement. The Kesef was a different measurement. The Nechoshes was a different measurement. Each thing, each thing, you're counting each specific thing. How much did you get from this? Pekudei means you're breaking things down. So that's the next thing. But now there's not counting the people, but there's counting the different things that are needed for the Mishkan. The things that are needed for the Mishkan. But now, even when you're counting, you're emphasizing not if you're counting people, you're emphasizing that each person is his own specific number. You're not emphasizing that we're all one. You're going, but Pekudei, the Rebbe says that's an avoider, to reveal how each person has his specific, unique way of the way he needs to serve Hashem. You have one way, you're Sephardi, serves the Rabbinic Sfarad. You're Ashkenazi, who's Ashkenaz. You're Chabad, who's Chabad. Each guy has their way. They're all here to serve Hashem. So Vayakhel means not to go break it down. That year when Vayakhel was first, although separate from Pekudei, the Rebbe says that symbolizes on focusing on Vayakhel. We're not getting into the Pekudei now. First, when you have Vayakhel Pekudei in 1 week, what does that mean? That the whole week is a week of not Vayakhel. It's not that when half of the week when you're reading Vayakhel, so this half of the week is Vayakhel, and the second half of the week when you're reading Parshas Pekudei, we call this is Parshas Pekudei. No, it's called Parshas Vayakhel Pekudei. It's combined. It's 1 week. It's 1 week. But in a year, when it's separate, you're reading Vayakhel on a whole week. A whole full week is this is the week of Vayakhel. That means you're to focus. The Rebbe was saying that to focus on this Vayakhel part, to focus more on the Vayakhel, to focus on how we're all here for one purpose, for one reason. Why are we all the same? Not to focus on the differences, to focus how we're all the same, to add in Abbas Yisrael and Achdas Yisrael, and unity of Jewish people. Not to add in saying, oh, you're different. I'm sorry, I can't count you for a million. Oh, your nose is like this. Oh, you wear a different type of yarmulke than me. Have a nice day. No. We're all Jews. Who cares? That's Vayakhel. And the Rebbe says that's what we see. That year it was Parshas Shkolim also, Machzis HaShekel. Machzis HaShekel brings out and symbolizes the same idea of unity, of becoming united with another Jew. Pasuk says, Esirin Geida HaShekel, Machzis HaShekel Truma HaShekel. A full shekel is 20 Geida. That's a full shekel. And a half of 20 Geida is what you give to God. And the question is, just say, why do you have to say a full dollar is 100 cents? And you should give a half of a full dollar, you should give 50 cents. Just say, give 50 cents, that's it. What do you have to tell me that a full dollar is 100? You give a half of 100, which is 50. Why are you emphasizing the half over here? Just say, give 50. Especially the Rebbe says that in the Mishkan, in the Beis HaMikdash, it says, Ein Klishonos Mekachim Elul Malei. Which means, if I needed to drink, let's say a half a cup of wine, for example, for a korban. I have a cow. You have a cow, you have a sheep, you have different types of animals, and each korban there's a different measurement of wine you need to bring.
So flour or
The
wine.
visahi, whatever it is.
Yeah.
It says that the kli, sharet, in order to make something holy first, you have to fill it up till the top. And once it's full, then you can split it in half in another kli. So in the Kedusha, the Beis HaMikdash, everything needs to be full. There's no half. If you want to bring a donation of a challah to the Beis HaMikdash, let's say, you can bring a full challah, not a half a challah. Later, they'll cut it in half and whatever. So you need to bring full things. So why over here, not only does the Torah say just bring 50, you can bring 10 gator, that's it. Bring 10 gator. The Torah says no. A full shekel is 20 gator. And you should give a half of 20, which is 10. Why emphasize this halfness when in the Beis HaMikdash, the emphasis is everything should be full? So the explanation is that they want to teach us that when you're on your own, when you're by yourself, you're only a half. You want to be complete. Complete is if you're going to combine with the yid next to you. You on your own is a half. In order for you to be a shekel hakodesh, you want a full holy shekel hakodesh, you need to be united with the yid next to you. Till every single yid, achdus, unity, vayakhel, to reveal how we're all one.
Does he say the United Hashem?
That's the next level.
Oh.
So that's the next stage. So the first stage is
Connect with your fellow years before you connect with Hashem.
the other way around. The Rebbe says first you should connect Hashem, then with the next
Okay,
one.
says that.
But the way the Rebbe says it,
Ah.
the way the Rebbe's, the order, the way it's printed here at least, it says Matzah HaShekel symbolizes to be united with the yid around you, and in order to bring that, in order for you to be able to be united with another Jew, you need to be united first with Hashem. Which means it's a yid has 10 koiches. Right? The chokhmah, bina das, is your brain, chesed gvura tiferes nezach chodis and is your emotions. So every person has 10 koiches, and God also has the 10 sfirot. So when you say a yid is 10, that means when you're saying you're half, that's your 10 koiches and average. In order for you to be full, you need to be united with God, and then you're a shekel hakodesh. Which means you need to reveal your neshama. You need to reveal your nefesh of the kids. When you reveal your neshama, when you go into your deeper part of you, you're not focusing on your body. You're going to reveal your neshama, which that's going to connect you to God. Then you can be united with another Jew. The Alter Rebbe says in Tanya, how can you love another Jew? As another Jew is a chelik alakam ma'amadish. Another Jew is a piece of God. If you're going to focus on the guf, the Alter Rebbe says, if someone makes the body the most important thing, you're not going to have another Jew you're not going to have real love to another Jew, to anyone. The only type of love you can have to someone else, if you're focusing on your body, is the ava shetluy b'dova, the ava then you're going to benefit something about it. Conditional love. Unconditional love is if you're focusing on the ruchnius. That's why he says, Alter Rebbe says, Avos Yisrael is the whole Torah. Again, wanted to convert. It tells him Avos Yisrael. Why is Avos Yisrael called there? Why is that the whole Torah? And he says everything else is just a piddush of Avos Yisrael. Why is Avos Yisrael loving another Jew? The whole entire Torah. So after that, he says, because what's the whole Torah? To elevate the soul over the body. If you're going to elevate the soul over the body, you're going to love another Jew, and that's the whole Torah. That's what Avos Yisrael is, because it's what's bringing to your Avos Yisrael. It's not just Avos Yisrael itself, It's what's leading to the Ahavas Yisrael. That's revealing the nefesh. You're gonna look at another person. Why should you love him? Maybe you don't like the way he's acting. You don't like. What's if he's not such a religious Jew? Or what's if he maybe bothered you? Whatever. If you're just gonna focus on the external part, the facade,
Yeah.
you're not gonna come to love the person. If you focus on your nefesh, if you're gonna be connected to God, which means you're focusing on your neshama, on the peace of God that's in you, you're going to focus on the peace of God that's in someone else, and therefore that's the way you're going to come to love another Jew.
Isn't it also because we're all part of Hashem? It's the Shema Elokim.
It's one Neshama.
Right, yeah, the same thing, 100%. And the same thing, right, that's the same, right. If you're going to focus on the neshama, inside the neshama we're all one, we're all the same, and we're all a piece of God, correct? And when Hashem says, when you're holding on to something, you're holding on to the whole entire thing. When you're holding on to a Jew, when you're focusing on the neshama, you're holding on to a Jew, you're holding on to God. And we're all one mitzvahs. A Jew, and all the Jewish people were really one. Let's have a neshama, we're all one with God. One entity, which is one with God. And he says, even when you see someone, that he's not doing the right thing, and he's doing the wrong thing. The best way
Rebuke it.
is to do it out of love. That's the most beneficial way you can make someone fix what he needs to fix.
Only if he wants to hear it, Edgar. Only if he very.
So actually, by this Vayakhel, the Rebbe said something which very interesting. The Rebbe said this mitzvah is only on parents. Why? Because parents, they do it out of love. When a part of parents is rebuking his kid, the son knows whatever he's screaming at him and whatever he's telling him, he knows that his mother loves him, his father loves him. When someone else does it, it can be that you don't like the guy, it can be for 100 reasons. So that's what the Rebbe says. Only when it's done out of pure love, it needs to come out of love. And
Is that in the Famayan?
by the built-in book, not the actual Vayakhel, that's what the Rebbe says.
מה זה פברוקי? רביוק. אפשר להוכיח כאילו?
להוכיח אותו, שהוא עושה משהו לא בסדר. Put him in this place, say you're doing something wrong, you gotta do better, you gotta correct yourself.
And the Rebbe says, this is the first thing that every Jew does when he wakes up in the morning. The first thing he does is, we say, Moida Ani. What does that symbolize? How a Yid is one with God. First thing he does in the morning, he wakes up from his sleep, he says, I'm giving myself over to you, God, and this, the first thing, well, Shemder says, the first thing that a person thinks and does during the day affects the whole day. That's why it says you need to respect your older brother. Why do you need to respect your older brother? He's your older brother? No. Yeah?
Yeah.
זה מה שאני אמרתי.
יש עוד אח, אבל הוא...
No, it's the middle brother, I'm the oldest brother.
Yeah, he's the oldest.
Not an older, I mean, the oldest brother. The oldest
Is it like
brother.
a minute, the oldest or older?
The oldest. Which means it comes the S of Vichor.
The Chicha Gadol.
No, it's right. The Chicha Gadol, which means about Choy. And he
Chicha
says,
Gadol.
why? Because the first thing that comes from the father, that's like the father himself. That's what so when you're being Vayakhel, the oldest brother, it's like being Vayakhel your father.
Right.
That's what so too when a person, when he wakes up in the morning, the first thought that a person thinks, it affects the whole day. He says all the other brothers, what they get from the parents, it comes from the older brother. The older brother, older Ashpa comes from the older brother, from the parents. So to the first thought that someone thinks the whole day, that affects the whole day. So the first thing that someone says in the morning is what? It says thank you to Hashem. So this avoid of Moida Ani that affects the whole day, this is a very general avoid. A person is thanking Hashem for giving him back his neshama. The question is, why do we say Moida Ani Lefanecha? Moida Ani Lefanecha. It should say Ani Moda.
It's a
Humility thing.
yeah.
Why do you say? You should say Ani Moda Lefanecha. Why you
I
saying?
am thankful, not thankful I am.
Right. So why are you saying Moida first? So the Rebbe says, I think he says, you're starting off, not with saying Ani, you're first just saying Hoda'ah, how you're giving yourself over to God. Not saying Anila Fanecha Modeh. Why? Why do we say first Moida Anila Fanecha? So the Rebbe says, Kevon Dezesh, Kol Echad V'Echad L'Mnei Yisrael, V'Uchad, V'Tachlis, Anila Fanecha, Ima Kadosh Baruch Hu, that is a double apportionment. The Ein Tzarech L'Hadrish Zos. This that every Jew is one with God. This that a Yid is one half a shekel, and Hashem is the other half a shekel, and you're one with Hashem. That's the simplest thing. So no matter what you don't even need to say it. Every single Jew is one with Hashem. So you can't. So what do you tell me? What's the finish? I need a fanacha. Then I'm in front of you. I'm one with you. You don't need to say. But what are you emphasizing on my work? And what am I doing? This that I'm one with God. That's the simplest thing. Every Jew has a piece of Hashem inside, has an neshama, and every Jew is a full shekel. Every Jew is one with Hashem. What do you need to say when you wake up in the morning? What am I doing with that? With this that I'm one with God? What am I doing? I'm thanking you. Moida, I'm more there because I'm one with you. Because I need a financial.
It's a mitzvah asik, right?
You'll say Moida.
No, I'm saying to be with one with Hashem. Have that thought of yourself being one with Hashem is actually what it's like having like doing kedusha. Like if it's to love Hashem, you're loving Hashem. It's mitzvah asik. Love Hashem. So you're making a mitzvah by saying, in other words, you're connecting yourself to Hashem in the morning.
Right.
Being one with Hashem.
You're waking up and saying, I'm one with you, God.
Verbalizing those words. You're iterating it.
Is that why the Rebbe says you should be one with Hashem first before being one with another?
It's the first thing you do in the morning. That also would be a nice connection. Yeah. But here, the Rebbe is saying also that that's the only way you're going to bring to it. The only way you're going to be one with another Jew is if you're one with God. Now you're going to be one with another Jew. You're not focusing on this oneness with God. But also, correct, that's the first thing that comes first. And the Rebbe says, Rambam writes, that there's this idea of waking up from your sleep when you wake up in the morning. And there's also people that are sleeping spiritually. The Sheinim B'Havlei Hazman, Rambam says, people that are like boss. Guy says, I was sleeping. Like, where were you for the past 10 years? I was sleeping. The guy,
Hibernating.
The guy was, people are wasting their time in Havlei Hazman. Rambam says, what does shofar mean? Rambam writes. What does tikkun, that's Chaplu Masechem, but it also means Uru Yeshenim Yishanatchem, Rambam says. The shofar means wake up. Stop sleeping b'havlei azman. That's what it means. Elu b'nei adam she'shenim b'havlei azman. People can be sleeping with the world, with the garbage of the world, with the hevel of the time. What does blowing shofar mean? Wake up. What's the first thing you do when someone wakes up from such a sleep? What does he need to know? What does that mean? You need to know Anila Fanecha. The first thing the Jew needs to know, I want to do Jewish, I want to return to God. And this is something that the Rebbe emphasized a lot. A person needs to know that you do not need to create a connection to Hashem, because you're already connected to God. You're one with the essence of God. You're one with Atzim Sumarus. All what you need to do is reveal that you're one with God. There's no, a Jew is never separated from God, no matter what. A Jew is always one with God. Even if someone's sleeping in the junk of the world, he's one with God. And when he wakes up, he needs to know that you're already one and you're always one with God. You just need to reveal that oneness. That's why we started with Moeda'ani. Now the Rebbe also connects this important point in the idea of Vayakhel. Vayakhel means to gather together, to bring together. The Rebbe says, we see now, Kibbutz Galuyot, we see now how Yidden from the whole world, that never happened in the past in history, are being gathered and coming to Eretz Yisrael in a way that it's unprecedented. It's such a gathering of Yidden.
It's the first time I think in history that the population of Israel is more Jewish than it's ever been. There's more Jews than there's ever been. It's not more Jewish.
In Eretz Yisrael than the rest of the world.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, I heard that now,
Yeah,
there could even
recently.
be more Jews in
Yes.
Eretz Yisrael than.
Which gives the brush of the land, by the way.
Yeah?
Now, the land can
There is?
produce.
Well, what's the numbers?
Yeah.
America and Israel.
Yeah.
Very cool.
The amount of Jews.
The amount of Jews, the
Well,
population.
America, the whole world, I'm just saying, yeah, the
America.
amount of Jews in the whole world. How about, yes, you tell me, we
אוכלוסייה.
בארץ,
אוכלוסייה.
אוכלוסייה בארץ, שיהודים
אה,
72% מהיהודים בעולם?
כן, לא, בישראל.
לא, לא, אבל לא 75, but the Rebbe says over here,
לא,
we
זה
see-
יש
50%.
50% בישראל,
כן.
45 באמריקה, ו5
אז זה
oh
זמן.
wow, so you're saying half of it.
Yeah.
More than
So, you know,
half.
that's really crazy.
50% Israel.
That number, I'll tell you why, because Rambam writes
That's what I heard. I
that
heard that actually.
the
Yeah.
kibbutz goliaths, one of the things, and here the Rebbe says a really a basket right, which you need to explain it. We'll explain it in a minute. What does it say?
Yeah.
But it,
Yeah.
almost 50%.
Almost 50%.
But that's what I like.
Yeah, drop less, like 46%.
46 are Israel already.
46%
It makes it a bit so now.
The population of the world, 46 are in Israel.
Yeah, but the Rebbe says we see the last years that there's Vayakhel. This is expression, right? We see that there's a huge amount of reading, which this is all a connection, as a preparation of very soon, the year's going to come, and we're going to have all the Eden in that.
It also says that when the population of Jews are more than they usually were in the past, the land will produce more bracha. So there'll be oil, there'll be gems, there'll be gold, there'll be a lot of production of fruits and vegetables, agriculture will be flourished. And we're seeing that now. Israel is producing a lot of
Yeah.
agriculture. They
More
found,
than,
they found oil and
wine.
wine.
ארץ זבת חלב ודבש.
And they found
לא נפט.
the leading number 3 in the world for wine production is in the world is Israel. The wine production.
Also,
The big world.
85% of Jews live in Israel and America.
85%.
all of
Just
that.
in those two
Yeah.
places.
There you go.
It's interesting, what I've been told Rabbi Korf, at Miami or Florida, Rabbi Vrov, my father,
Yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah, let's show them, yeah.
Rabbi Shalom. And Rabbi said that Florida or Miami, I don't remember which one. Miami, it's gonna be like Yerushalayim.
On America.
Of
I think
America.
it's pretty similar.
different because in the Matsevi wrote Florida.
It's Florida.
Yeah.
Florida, that was my question, so Miami or Florida.
Oh, is it Florida, is it?
No, I'm saying the Matseva it says Florida, and he
Oh,
usually
it's
mentions
Florida,
it.
Which one said it?
It's Matseva,
It's
it's
Matseva.
Matseva.
Who's?
That was the- that was the-
Where's it buried?
In
Right,
Noyes, in Queens.
Oh,
Oh, in Queens, yeah. The oil.
It's the Rebbe. What's the Rebbe?
Can't get too close.
Response left. Right, so the Rebbe says this aliyah that Yidden are going to Eretz Yisrael is you can't even compare it to the aliyah that there was ever in history in previous generations. The amount of Yidden that are in Eretz Yisrael now. Obviously, we're talking about in Golis. And the Rebbe points out that the Rabbeim of Chabad were actually never in Eretz Yisrael, and they never even visited Eretz Yisrael for some reason, because the main, which is interesting, why the Rebbe, I remember I thought about this, why the Rebbe is saying this, but the Rebbe says that Rabbeim never went to Eretz Yisrael, and even the Baal Shem
That's the
Tov,
Mashiach will arrive, that's why. The
Yeah.
Mashiach hasn't arrived yet.
so the Rebbe said, when the Rebbe asked him why did he go,
Can't leave. no?
so he said the majority of the Jewish people are here in America,
Oh.
and a teacher needs to be where his
Leader.
students
With the
are.
students, yes, I heard of that.
And
If
he's,
you left, you can't leave.
I know exactly. Then he says if he goes to Eretz Yisrael, he's not going to be able to leave
Right.
back. He can visit. Well, it's okay, so just visit, go for a few days. He said, Al Pi Allah, it's not simple to go
Come back.
and leave. Once you're under Eretz Yisrael, it's not not pashut.
Not for sure.
So the Rebbe said, okay, so we'll find you a heter. You know, that's what Tema told the Rebbe. My video, by dollars. So the Rebbe said, write me the heter. Get me the heter
They
from the
showed
Rav.
it? They showed it?
The Rebbe says, get the Rav to write me the Psak that it's mutter. I'll read it and then I'll consider.
Which Rav?
I don't know. This is some guy told the Rebbe. So the Rebbe
Oh.
said, let the Rav, whatever. He said, so we'll get the Rebbe a heter. The Rebbe said, if I go, I don't know if I could. So he said, we'll get the Rebbe a heter from a Rav. And he couldn't go and leave and whatever. So the Rebbe said, let him write up a Psak. And I'll take it and I'll read it. I'll think it over. Maybe I'll whatever.
The previous Rebbe did it, no?
So the Rebbe says, even this, that his father-in-law went, the only reason he went was because he escaped to Russia. And in Russia is where they had all the kvarim of the Baal Shem Tov and the Magdal, and he couldn't go to Nishtatech al Kivrei Avot. He couldn't go to his father's. So it says all the kvarim of tzaddikim are connected. If you go the Rebbe said, for example, on Lag BaOmer, if you go to, if you go to the oil of his father-in-law, it's like you're going to Rajbi.
Oh, wow.
He says, because all the Kvarim are connected.
Connected, sure.
All the Kvarim of Tzadikim are connected. So he said that his father-in-law couldn't go to the Tzemach Tzedek, and they're out there, and all the Rebbe, every Rebbe needs a Rebbe. Even the Rebbe, the way he always go all the time, he always went to his father-in-law's.
So the Harab, it says.
The Rebbe went to his father-in-law's oil at least once a week. Erev Reish Chodesh and this one. That was like in the early years, but it wasn't. That's like for sure Erev Reish Chodesh and the every single month. But it was way then. It was every week, a few times a week. It was people would ask him a bracha for this or that. What would they ever write? Ask him about Tzion. I'm going to mention about my father-in-law's Tzion, and he would get bags and bags. So the Rebbe was going to wait till Tezvav when he has 10 bags of people begging for brachas. He went every few days. So the Rebbe Rashab, or the Rebbe Rayach, where is he going to go? Where is he going to go? Yeah, the Rebbe Rashab, he couldn't go there, he couldn't go back, so he flew to Israel, and he went by boat. He went to Eretz Yisrael only as an exchange for not being able, but he didn't go there as going to Eretz Yisrael to go around. Yeah. That wasn't his point. That wasn't.
The mission was to go see the Rebbe.
To go to Lishtatech and Kivrei Avodah, because you couldn't go to Lubavitch and wherever all the other the stove where his father was, or Lubavitch, where the Tzemach Tzedek Hadich, whatever was right. Measure Bush is right. Shevin is right. Probably you know all the names.
So you have to go there.
So now the Rebbe says, what's the lesson, L'maisa B'Poyel, from Parshas Shkel? What do we learn out in action? What do we need to do? So the Rebbe says we need to add and give him tzedakah. And in giving tzedakah, there's many levels. What does it mean to add? If someone gives Maisa, if someone gives 10%, you can give Choimish, which is a fifth, until the Rebbe brings, now the Rebbe says in Tanya, he brings a pasuk, it says, Kol Asher Le'ish, Yitin Ba'ad Nafshi. Whatever someone has, you should give for his nefesh. What does that mean? Whatever you have, you should give for your nefesh. So there the Rebbe explains that if someone sinned, he needs to fast. To wipe away the dirt that his sin made. So then Aveda made a certain gam on his nefesh. And the levushim of his nefesh, wearing clothes, he made a stain. The way you wipe it off is by fasting. Now, each Aveda has a certain amount of fast. You need a fast. Some Avedas need 84 fast. Some there, and each guy sinned a certain Aveda 10 times.
The is 84 fast.
It's like.
It's
like
But then if you did a bunch of the fasts.
So it's not so simple. Because the Alter Rebbe brings it entirely all the fasts. But what does the Alter Rebbe say? Because the Alter Rebbe says someone really needs to fast. And now the Alter Rebbe says the guy's going to make a calculation. It's going to come up to, who knows how many hundreds of fasts. One Aveda is 84.
Triple number.
If a guy did an Aveda 10 times, you know what that is? 1,000 fasts. It's so, what are you going to fast every day?
Stop eating.
So the Alter Rebbe says, what do? So he says, if you give the amount of money of that you would eat, that's as if you fast.
It's sufficient to
It says your sin you should redeem, get rid of your sin through giving stuck the amount of money. It would cost you to eat 3 meals or 2 meals of Suda, 1 Suda, 2 or 3 Suda, whatever it is. Now the Rebbe says the guy's going to calculate. Okay, so the guy sinned certain sin, which because of that you need to fast 83 fasts. To make a cheshbon 83 times, that's even $10. What does that come out? 800 and something?
820.
Whatever it is, 800 and something. Now, guy, what 840. Because 10 times, right? Like so 840 is gonna do let's say pay down. Now what's if a guy sinned a certain sin that he should do 10 times pay down? So what's that? 8,400. Now what's that? The other Aveda, if you're gonna make a calculation, you're gonna see that you have I don't know what $100,000, whatever the one number is. It's big numbers. The Alter Rebbe says, that's one answer.
There you go.
That's a good idea. But the Alter Rebbe says, so a guy's going to say, well, okay, so I'm going to give so much money. A guy could only give choimish. Says, if a guy wants to give more, up to a fifth. not more.
20%,
Here,
yeah.
not more. Here comes out that what? You guys, you're giving 50% of your money or whatever, or everything, let's say. So the Alter says that the Fuas HaNefesh is not any less than the Fuas HaGuf. Which means if a guy needed to make an operation, and this is going to save his life, the guy's not going to say, listen, I'm going to pay up to a fifth of my money. Well, if the only way your life's going to be saved is by you giving all your money, that's the only way your life is going to be saved. The guy's going to give everything. So too, call Asher Le'ish, Yitin Ba'ad Nafshe, call Asher Le'ish, whatever you have, call Asher Le'ish, you should give to save your nefesh from its magan. So the Rebbe is saying in giving tzedakah, there's many levels of giving tzedakah. There's ma'aser, there is to add in giving tzedakah. If you have ma'aser, you give chomish a fifth, until a bit more than that, to go more than chomish, to give and give and give. And
you mentioned pikude. It's also the word pikadon, which is deposit.
right.
You're putting yourself into a collateral of the concept of yourself, giving from yourself to serve Hashem. In other words, you're giving yourself a deposit. You're putting yourself into a state where you're so to speak, you're collateral for Hashem. In other words, your neshama is not yours. But
The Neshama, that's another actually thing it says when you say Moida
yes, it's collateral.
you're right. Your Neshama, you're chayiv to the Eidish.
You're leasing your neshama.
You're right, you're leasing your Neshama. And that's why you say Moida
That's
because
right.
you're thanking God that He's giving you back
Correct.
because you're really chayiv to Hashem.
You're chayiv to
whatever.
Hashem, exactly.
And nevertheless, He's giving you back a Neshama from here. The Gemara
Yes,
learns
it's
out
not allowed.
that you need to give back. If someone owes you money and he gives you a mashkin, you should give it back to him. Just like God is giving you back.
An IOU kind of thing. So an IOU, like I use a business, an IOU, like a deposit slip. Like, like here's an IOU for this. I owe you this money. Here's an IOU slip. So in the future, I'm giving you this amount to take care of what I owe you. In other words, I'm
paying in advance.
Yes, paying in advance. It's a loan.
Uh-huh.
That's where, so to speak, right? Hashem is a loan, and Hashem's saying to give back, so to speak, the IOU, and Hashem's giving us neshama as a way of as ahava for us, his love for us. It's almost like
He lends it to us.
He lends it to us.
And then we give it back already, and he gives it brand new. every
Correct.
single day.
Dry clean every night. It's dry clean.
I was thinking it like.
You keep going to circle.
Well, it's very
It's
important.
exactly the
Because
same
all the
machine.
time. It's very important because all the time. Did the Rebbe ever mention not speaking? Some say it's higher than the Tefillah.
Yeah, so he actually did say that.
No, not speaking.
Maybe it's not
I
Alfiyah.
think
He's
he
the one
said-
who composed it.
I'll tell you what I know the Rebbe for sure said. The Rebbe said that also, yes, people that wanted to fast, the Rebbe said, but what the Rebbe said was, what's even greater than that is a person thinking for 15 minutes a day, I need to find the exact letter, make a cheshbon nefesh of how is he acting and what he can do better than Avodas Hashem. Something like that.
His retirement.
Yeah, and what kind of the Rebbe says also, to prevent yourself from not saying whatever you want to say, not necessarily just to sit down and not talk the whole day and whatever, but you could die unnecessary talk. You want to talk about someone, you want to say some shtickle or watching or whatever, and you hold yourself back. It's greater than just not eating the whole day, to hold yourself up.
Lima, they say lima.
Lima, right.
Yeah.
The Rebbe says everyone should make chlota even on Shabbos to add and give tzedakah, and to even start giving tzedakah on Shabbos. Who knows how could you give tzedakah on Shabbos? You can't touch money. How can you give tzedakah on Shabbos?
Shabbat.
Huh?
You pledge.
No.
You host people.
You host people. Or to give food. To give food on Shabbos. To give someone food. You have to give the guy money, and the guy has to buy labor with the money. The guy, you give someone food.
That's right.
Food and drink on Shabbos.
That's what he said.
That's a sorchim.
But if you pledge too, it's as if you did it.
Was you pledging
Right,
for
so
an
no,
aliyah
that
or
doesn't
something?
besides for pledging and taking the chlota, but to actually start giving tzedakah on
The
Shabbos.
physical act of having someone at your
Of
house for a
giving
meal.
tzedakah is giving someone food. I think that
Food.
everyone once said
Nice.
that each person has their cup of wine, and if I reckon everyone should trade, give the other guy. So you're like
Giving.
you're giving someone else. So I remember that's what I remember. I remember
During
something
when?
like that.
During when?
That's nice.
Any forbidden on Shabbos? Any forbidden?
Yeah, I think it was then. It said you to start on Shabbos by giving tzedakah.
Oh, wow.
So he gives the guy next to you a cup of wine, and he gives you back also a cup of wine.
Hey,
You know, like Mishloach Manos,
Right, I guess it is, okay.
He pours a cup, you pour a cup kind of thing.
whatever it is, but you're giving someone else some food or lachai, so you're giving tzedakah on Shabbos.
Right.
Now, the way you give the tzedakah, there's also a law from Parshas Shkolim. How do you give the tzedakah? So it says that what did they do with the Shkolim? They brought korbanos tzibur. It says they brought the animals to bring for the korbanot and the mizbeach. It says Odom ki yaakil mikem korban la'Hashem. A person from within you that's going to cut clothes and he's going to decide that he wants to bring a korban to Hashem. So the exact words the pasuk says is Odom ki yaakil, a person that will bring a sacrifice from within you. Should bring a sacrifice to God. Why is this weird? It should have said, Adamikem, one of you people that wants to bring a korban. One of you people that want to bring a korban. That's the way it should say. It says, one of you to bring a korban from within you. One of the people from within you that wants to bring a korban.
You can read it in two different ways, or maybe two ways actually. You can read it like yourself is the korban.
Exactly. So that's the answer. That's the Alter Rebbe
Or
what he says.
korban.
He says not just the pasuk says Adam Yakriv Mikem Korban Hashem. So the symbol means a person that will want to bring a korban from within you, a korban Hashem. They'll say a person from within you that wants to bring a korban. But here the Alter Rebbe says, like you said, it is Adam Yakriv, a person that wants to bring a sacrifice. Mikem Korban Hashem. What do you bring a korban from within you? You want to bring a korban? Don't just bring me a cow and a sheep and have a nice day. You need to bring yourself as a korban to Hashem. You need to you need to give yourself to Hashem. You need to bring your whole self to God. You need to give God your whole mitzvahs. And that's the that the tzedakah that you give, the machzis or shekel, the tzedakah that you give needs to be in the way of that the korban is brought, which means you need to put your whole self into it. You need to put your whole eser koyches hanefesh into the giving of the tzedakah or helping another Jew. Your whole mikem, Adam ki yakriv mikem, you need to put your whole life, your whole thought, your speech, your action, your machshava, divrei mind, so all your 10 koyches hanefesh, you need to put it into the giving of tzedakah. You need to think of giving tzedakah, of helping another Jew. You need to talk about giving tzedakah and helping another Jew. You need to actually do it. You need to put your whole Adam, you have to put mikem, korban Hashem, and what's the matzahs Hashem for the korbanos? Your whole life, you have to put your whole self into this of helping another Jew. And it was a shanoisif la'asiyah b'po, besides for just giving, not only to just give, choishev or medaber al davar. You need to think about it. Your whole mikem, so your whole, it's not just an action, just take the money and give it. You should think, you should talk, and to do, besides for doing. And through this, we bring closer the Geula that's going to come right away, and then Hashem will do His tzedakah. What's Hashem's tzedakah? Cheskela Navi, the whole tzedakah. Hashem's tzedakah is to gather all the Yidden together and bring them Vayakhel, for God to do His Vayakhel. Now the Rebbe says over here a certain line, which is a little bit, people ask a question many, many times. It's known. Can someone turn on the air conditioner, please? One of the things that the Rebbe spoke many, many times against this, that in the Tefillah for Shlom Medinat Yisrael, one of the lines over there it says is, they say, whatever, those that say it, shouldn't say. Yeah, it's Vayakhel, Medinat Yisrael, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But in there it says, Reshit Tzmichad Gulateinu. They say that the Medina, and this the Yidden went to Eretz Yisrael, this is the beginning of the redemption.
The salvation.
This is the beginning of the sprouting of the redemption. Now this is something that the Rebbe screamed against. Why? So the Rebbe always brought the Rambam. The Rebbe says the Rambam is the only halachic authority in the subject of Mashiach, which means, just like in every subject, the guy wants to know how to light the menorah on Hanukkah. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Open up a Gemara and say, okay, let me see. Beis Shammai says like this. Beis Hillel says like this. So I want to go like Beis Shammai. I want to light the first night, eight candles.
Eight candles.
Shine the next day. Well, you can't do that because we don't paskin from Gemara or Mishnayos. Where do we paskin from? You open up a Shulchan Aruch. You open up a halacha sefer. Like Yosef or whatever it is, fine, Ashkenazim, when you open up a halacha sefer. So too, the Rebbe actually brought an example. There was a guy, he came about tshuva, and he saw him eating chicken and milk together. Chicken with milk together. He was cooking chicken and milk. So he says, "What are you doing?" And the guy was a card for a Jew. So he said, "Well, Rabbi Gamliel, and the Gemara says that he holds you allowed to eat the start off with the milk." So he said, "Very nice. There's such an opinion in the Gemara, but it's not halacha." Well, the guy didn't know. He thought you could go by the Gemara. We don't go by Beis Shammai. We don't go by his opinions. There can be opinions that are Torah opinions, but if it's not halacha, you can't act accordingly. In the first parak of the whole Mishnayos, it says that Rabbi Tarfon, Beis Shammai said, when you say Shema by night, you meant to lay down and say Shema, and when you meant to stand up and say Shema by night, you meant
Like literally.
yeah, literally, exactly. So Rabbi Tarfon said he was walking, he was traveling, and then he wanted to go like Beis Shammai. So Beis Shammai he said Shema, and then I don't know, God, Avim came and he almost killed him and he put his life in danger. So they told him, you deserve it. The Gemara says, so you deserve this punishment because you didn't go according to the halacha. What do you mean? What do you mean? Beis Shammai, this very nice, it's Torah, but it's not halacha. So too in regards to Mashiach and Bula, there's many opinions. It can be like this, it can be like that. The order of events, what happens first, what happens second, what happens third, all the different things. The way we go by to know what's Mashiach, you have to go to a halacha sefer. A guy can't just open up one Gemara here and one Gemara there and one medish like this and one zoya like that and make a whole salad and make his own challenge how the good is going to come. There's a halacha. The Rambam do all the Gemaras, in all the Midrashim, he knew everything. The Rambam, he writes in his introduction that what he's going to do after he went through everything, he brings down, not only Mashiach and anything, he brings down the halacha l'maaseh. After the Rambam, there's a more updated version of the Rambam. So if the Beis Yosef, he based it off of the Rambam, he made it more up to date. But in the things that the Beis Yosef did not make an updated version of it, we stick to the way the Rambam put it. In regards to Mashiach, there's no Hilchos Malach HaMashiach in Shulchan Aruch. In the Rambam there is. The last two Prakim of Hilchos Malachim, the Rambam calls it Hilchos Malachim U'Malchamos U'Malach HaMashiach. He made laws that say what is Mashiach, what is the order of events, how Mashiach is going to come. And over there, the Rambam says twice, in Perek Adalef, in the beginning of the Perek, and again in Halacha Adalef, he writes the order of events. She says, first of all, Malach HaMashiach also Malach HaMashiach is going to stand up. That's number one. Or the Hachzir Malchus David L'Yashna, he's going to bring back the Malchut, the Davidic dynasty, the rulership, to be a Melech, al-Pi Torah. Melech, according to Torah, is that he's the ruler, not Bibi, not anyone else. No one can tell him what to do, not Trump, no one. Melech means that it says, Ein al Gam of El Hashem Melech. Melech is the only one on top of the Melech.
He reigns over all people.
Over everyone. Who's on top of him? God. That's
Only
it.
Hashem.
Only Hashem.
Yeah.
No Kohen Gadol or nothing. He's on top of everyone. So Mashiach is going to come back and bring this power of having the Yiddish Melech al Pidin al Pitoyra, and he's going to bring it that it's going to be Malchus Beis David. Not to have Malchus Beis Yosef and Malchus this first. So that's number one. A Melech gets up. Then he says, after that, Ubay HaMikdash. He builds the Beis HaMikdash. And after that, Umakabetz Nidche Yisrael. After he builds the Beis HaMikdash, he brings everyone to Eretz. So he makes it very clear. First, Malach HaMashiach needs to show up. There needs to be a person, Malach HaMashiach. Not a movement, not a Malach, not a whatever. There's a person, Malach HaMashiach. He brings back Malchus Beis David. He builds the Beis HaMikdash. And after that, he brings everyone to Eretz Yisrael. That's halacha. Again in halacha, the Rambam says the same thing. Ubana Mikdash bin Koimai. So first, bring Beit HaMikdash, then Kibbutz Galilot. the Zionists or whatever, they say Kibbutz Goliath is before Beis HaMikdash. Because there's a Medrash that says first to make Kibbutz Goliath and then Binin Beis HaMikdash. We say first Kibbutz Goliath and Binin Beis HaMikdash.
We say God Israel, and then we say
Gal Yisrael is something else. That's Yigalinim and not Tzarot, the Gemara says. But whatever it is, but they bring a Medrash Tanchuma. There it says, Ein Yerushalayim Nivnet Ad Shitkamtzu Galiyot. Yerushalayim is not going to be built till before that. There's going to be Kibbutz Galiyot. So first Kibbutz Galiyot, then Binin Yerushalayim. Then they bring the Gemara Megillah that you mentioned about the order of the brachas. There it says, what does it say? After Bonei Yerushalayim. So they say after Yerushalayim is going to be built, then Mashiach is going to come. So what's the order of events according to the way they say it? Kibbutz Galiyot, Binyan Yerushalayim, then Mashiach comes. So they say, listen, Jews are going to Israel. This is Kibbutz Galiyot. The Kibbutz Galiyot started. And later, the Beis HaMikdash is going to be built, and even later, Malach HaMashiach is going to come.
at the end.
All the way in the end. So the Rebbe says very nice. And we found a nice Medrash. We found a nice Gemara, but that's not halacha. The Rebbe didn't say it's not Torah, it's Torah, but it's not halacha. What's halacha l'maaseh? What's the order of events? You need to have a Malach HaMashiach doing everything. Now it says first Malach HaMashiach stands up before anything. Number one is Malach HaMashiach.
A leader.
A leader, Malach, and he does everything. And then it gets done by itself.
There's one svara that Moshe Rabbeinu will be the one to lead us to Eretz Yisrael. I've heard that. There's one svara like that. Because he wasn't Zocha to do it then.
So it says he's going to take his generation. He's going to get up and take his generation. That's why he was married in the midbar. Because he wanted to, because he's a real Rebbe, and a real Rebbe stays with his chassidim. So he's going to get up and take his God to right. Right, he was the head of it, and he's going to take his generation out. But the point is, the Rebbe's focus made it very clear that this is not kibbutz galiyot. This that Yidden are going to Eretz Yisrael, as great as it is, this is not the Schal de Gul. It's not the Reishis Tzmichas Gulasena. It's not the kibbutz galiyos, because the kibbutz galiyos is done after Binyan Beis HaMikdash and after Malach HaMashiach.
This is the prerequisite of that.
So what is it now? Okay, I don't know how much time you guys have. So I don't know, whatever it is. And then when it's clear, I'm gonna make it Hashem say the whole point. The point that Rebbe says over here is the Rebbe's words in the last Farbrayim, the Rebbe says that Kibbutz Galiyot started. It's Kibbutz Galiyot L'Pashtus. So people ask, is the Rebbe contradicting himself all of a sudden by saying that Kibbutz Galiyot started? And here, and the Rebbe made it very clear that Kibbutz Galiyot is done through Malach HaMashiach after the Beis HaMikdash is built. So, is the Rebbe changing his mind? Obviously, the Rebbe is not changing his mind because this is halacha, and the Rebbe wouldn't change his mind. And it's clear that the Rebbe ends off the whole sicha by saying that very soon we're going to be zoichet to kibbutz galiyot, that Hashem is going to be the kametz, everyone, in the Gula Mitit Vashlema. So, in the same sicha where he said that the kibbutz galiyot started, and there's so many Yidden going to Eretz Yisrael. So now I was thinking to explain what does it mean that Rebbe is saying.
Some people say that the Beit HaMikdash is going to come along. Some say you have to build it. So which one is it?
Very good. So this is
Gemara.
So the Gemara says it's going to come from heaven, but it also says that we're going to build it. So the Rebbe actually gives 6 answers in this book over here. The Rebbe has 6 explanations. If you want, I can say now, say later, whatever it is. But the simple answers are making simple. One of the 6. The Gemara says that the Mashiach will come riding on a donkey.
Right.
The Gemara says he's going to come on the clouds of heaven. So the Gemara asks, is he Onim Arosa Alachamoy or Onim Anan Shai? What way is Mashiach going to come? How is he coming? So the Gemara answers by, the Gemara says, Lo Zochu Onim Arosa Alachamoy, Zochu Anan Shai. The Yidden don't deserve Mashiach, but God has to bring Mashiach because He promised He's going to take us out of Zoros. Just like by Mitzrayim, God promised. So it says they were over there the Zorah, and they were this, but Hashem took them anyways. It says if God has to bring Mashiach because He said that the time comes, then He said that Mashiach is going to come. So that's the Gemara also says. If the Yidden don't deserve, He's going to come like a poor man riding on a donkey. If they deserve, He's going to come miraculously with miracles on clouds of heaven.
That's right.
So the Rebbe says so too. If you either don't deserve, then we either build there for I don't know how long it's going to take, brick by brick, to build a third base of English. But if we deserve it, if Mashiach is coming on a donkey, we need to build it. If he's coming on a cloud, then he's coming down from heaven. So that's one of the Rebbe's many answers. And the Rebbe says, the Gemara says, a gate that passes away, and he left a whole house, or whatever. Now, he has no Yodesh, he has no one to inherit inheritance. So how do you buy how do you acquire a house? So it says, if you put up a door to his house, it's as if you built the whole house. Kilu b'nor kol, that's what it says. When you put on a door, it's as if you built the whole house. That's what the Gemara says. It says the Rebbe, the Beis HaMikdash is going to come down from Shemayim. And it says, in Eichar Tovu Ba'aretz Shareh, they buried the door, the gate, the doors of the Beis HaMikdash sunk into the ground by the Churban. They didn't burn it.
The doors of
The Shalikon, or whatever it is, they,
two of them, one sunk in the ocean,
and one, he went on.
one
One under the
yes,
boat and one,
correct.
right.
Yeah.
But it says these doors,
In the ocean, it's going to be brought to.
it's sunk in.
It's
The Eichel says Tovu Ba'aretz Shareh. It's sunk into the
It's
ground,
sunk
and it's going to come out.
correct.
So Mashiach and the Yidden, they're going to put back the doors.
The doors.
And the Rebbe says, just like it says in the other, it says if someone puts on doors, it's as if he built the whole entire
Yeah.
house.
Sure.
That's what it says, as if he built the whole home. So too, Mashiach is going to put on the doors, so it's as if he built the whole Beis HaMikdash.
So when the Beit HaMikdash comes, that's when Mashiach comes.
So the Beis HaMikdash is going to come down from heaven with Malach HaMashiach. He's going to come and we're going to put on the doors. The Yidden and Mashiach are going to put on the doors to the Beis HaMikdash.
Completed to the doors.
So we're going to complete. We're going to do the bottom.
There was 2 times the Beit HaMikdash, or 2 times the Mashiach came.
9 times
No,
so far.
two.
9 times so far. 10 plus the 10.
That's the Paradum you're saying.
There's 9 part ones, but the Mashiach has.
Mashiach is doing the 10th.
The-
Mashiach
yes. The 10th.
is going to make the 10th.
Yes.
So 9 times he came with
Not
No,
Mashiach
nine
came
heifers,
9
9 paradumot.
Paraduma, what are you talking about? There was 2 Batei Mikdash.
Yes.
Beis HaMikdash there was 2 times. The first one Shlomo HaMelech, the second one was by Ezra, by the second Beit HaMikdash. The third one, but Mashiach came only once. In the past, which is David HaMelech. The Rambam says, but David HaMelech is Mashiach HaRishon. The whole idea of Mashiach was once in the past, that was David HaMelech. Not Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu, the Rambam doesn't say he was Mashiach. The Rambam says he was a Goel, he was a Redeemer. He saved the Yidden from Mitzrayim. He was Goel Rishon, but he's not Mashiach HaRishon.
So which one is bigger, Beit HaMelech or Mashiach?
So it depends in which aspect. Mitzad Mashiach, so it depends on what you're talking about. If you're talking about Nevuah, so Moshe Rabbeinu is the greatest of it. If you're talking about a king, if you're talking about Malach HaMashiach, David HaMelech was the first Malach HaMashiach. In Nevuah, it says Moshe Rabbeinu is even greater than Malach HaMashiach. But if you're talking about being a Mashiach, which why? Let's just already mention it. We'll just explain this in a nutshell.
David it says.
Mashiach ben David. But why is David the first Mashiach? Why is he the first? And why not Moshe Rabbeinu? The answer is because what is Mashiach? Mashiach means what is Mashiach? Mashiach means a time that we could do all 613 mitzvot. We have 613 mitzvot. Taryag mitzvot. We could do now. How many mitzvot?
Maybe 500 less?
No, less.
Maybe.
Less than half. We could do 1/5 of Taryag mitzvot. From the 248 positive commandments, we could do 87. 87. Because most mitzvot are only with the Beit HaMikdash, and only when we have most of the Yidden in Eretz Yisrael. When you have Kol Yashvei Aleh, that's why I said before, when you said 50 or whatever, it makes a difference. Because if you have a majority of the Yidden in Eretz Yisrael, then you're mechuyev in many more mitzvahs.
That's right.
And the Rambam and the Shiach is going to bring out of Eretz Yisrael. Why? Why does it take us Eretz Yisrael? In order that we should be able to do 613 mitzvahs. In Galut, what does it mean we're in Galut? We cannot do 650 mitzvahs. Why did Moshe Rabbeinu want to go to Eretz Yisrael so much? Why did he daven 500 and Kuf Tet Vav, right? Or 550 tefillot to go to Eretz Yisrael? The Gemara says he wanted to eat the fruits of Israel. The mud wasn't tasty enough. He wanted to eat the cakes. That's why he was davening. No, imagine, 550 times. Why was he so desperate? So he wanted to do the mitzvah that you could only do when you're in Israel. And he didn't. At the end of the day, he didn't take the Eretz Yisrael. He was not the one to make it possible to actually do 630 mitzvot. That's why he wasn't the first Mashiach. Mashiach means he tried, but it still wasn't Lamaisa. What's Mashiach? Lamaisa. To make it possible, to give us the ability to do 630 mitzvot. That's what the Mashiach is. And the first one that did it was Moshe Rabbeinu. And Malach HaMashiach is the next one. That's why Mashiach is also a yesod, a foundation of the whole Yiddishkeit. Why is it a foundation? The Chassam Sofer and whatever, other Mefarshim say they don't understand the Rambam. Why did he make it's an important thing, it's a nice thing, it's a good thing, it's Geshmak. Why is it a foundation? Why is it a yesod? What does a yesod mean? And it's holding up the whole building. If the yesod falls down, everything collapses. Why is Biyat HaMashiach a yesod? Without Mashiach, the whole Yiddishkeit is gegangen. Because what are we doing now? How many mitzvahs are we doing now? The frumest Jew is doing 1/5 of Yiddishkeit. Where is all the Torah mitzvahs that God gave us?
You can do all of
We
it.
can't. We can't. What's Mashiach coming to reveal to us? How
Our life.
God's commandments are forever. That's what He's coming to reveal to us. Which means God told us, do 630 mitzvahs. What are we doing now? We're only doing 87, another 240. We're doing a very little amount. Malach HaMashiach is coming to build the Beis HaMikdash, to take out the Eretz Yisrael, and show us, look, God gave us mitzvahs. Everything is possible to do. He's coming to reveal the eternity, the nitzchiyut of Torah and mitzvahs. And that's a foundation. It's fundamental. What does it mean? Ani ma'amin b'Biyat HaMashiach. What are you thinking through your head when we say Ani ma'amin b'Emunah Shlema b'Biyat HaMashiach? What do we think? What does it mean B'Biyat HaMashiach? What's B'Biyat HaMashiach? B'Biyat HaMashiach means I believe. And why is this a principle? I need to believe that all 630 mitzvahs will be doing all 630 mitzvahs. That's what B'Biyat HaMashiach means. A time is going to come that we're going to be able to do whatever Hashem wants. And that's Gula. That's Ischal Gula. The Rambam says, when does the Gula start? When you're able to do 630. That's when the Gula starts. That's why only after Kibbutz Galuyot, the Rambam says, someone is Mashiach. The Rambam says a guy can stand up and toil in Torah and do mitzvahs and make new Torah and mitzvahs and fight the wars of Hashem. So the Rambam says, if you see someone doing all of this, that he himself is completely Torah mitzvahs and he's making other unit. So this person is Chazkat Mashiach, the Rambam says. He's presumed, this guy is a Chazakah, that this guy is going to be the Mashiach in the future. He says, we still don't know for sure that this is Gula, that he's for sure Melech HaMashiach, he's Chazkat Mashiach. But if he actually makes it possible to do 613 mitzvahs, he builds the Beis HaMikdash, he brings out Eretz Yisrael, and all the Torah and mitzvahs are actually happening, then the Rambam says, and he's a Mashiach Mavadai. This guy is for sure Mashiach. Why? Because he just did whatever Mashiach needs to do. What is Mashiach? To make it possible to do 630 mitzvahs. And that's a foundation. It's how do we view 29 mitzvahs. When we look at a Chumash, when we look at all these mitzvahs that we can't do we look at it as something in the past? Do we look at it, God gave us korbanos, this they did once upon a time, and now it's not possible to do, and it's some like old-fashioned thing? Or we're looking at it, no. Torah and mitzvahs is forever. In the future, we're going to be doing it again. Torah and mitzvahs is nitzchi, is eternal. That's what Mashiach is coming to reveal. If you don't have that piece of the puzzle, what does that mean? That God is from the past. All of His commandments is from the past, and it's not really forever. It was once upon a time, and that's it. If someone doesn't believe Mashiach is going to come, then God's mitzvahs are not forever for me.
It's a form also of lack of belief in Hashem. You don't believe in Mashiach, but you're saying you don't believe in serving, you don't believe in Hashem.
We don't give him God's ability to run His own world, to make the world the way He wants. He promised that He's going to.
It's a form of what's the word when they call themselves nowadays? They call themselves Vira, atheism.
Atheism,
The form of atheism.
right. You believe, guys.
Heresy.
Heresy.
God doesn't have the
That's the
ability
word,
to do
heresy.
what he wants. He promised that he's going to do something. He already told Moshe Rabbeinu, "V'sham Hashem Elokecha shvuscha."
To give me
Cutting,
cutting, right?
right. What are
But
the
also
first?
Mashiach is Otiyot Sham Chai. There you're going to live.
Forever.
Forever.
Chaim Yitzchak.
You want to live? Sham Chai Otil Mashiach. Mem Shin
I
Yudbek.
never heard that one.
You'll live there. That's where you're going to live. Sham Chai.
The Balaturim says Mashiach is always Yismach.
It's not Moshe. That's Yidin Musaf.
Yeah, but he says Yis Yogel Yaakov Yismach Yisrael. Yismach. When are we going to be happy? When are we going to be joyful when Mashiach comes? That's it. Ozimal is such real. So the Rebbe is saying Kibbutz Galuyot started. I just want to say this to Kudah. He's not referring to the Kibbutz Galuyot Adarama. That's what I wanted to say. There could be a Kibbutz Galuyot, but it's not the Kibbutz Galuyot what the Rambam is talking about, which that's what he's excluding. Kibbutz Galuyot Adarama means that all the Yidden are Eretz Yisrael.
So
That's
all
some
these
Yidden.
aliyahs are going on now around the
They're
world.
not Kibbutz Galuyot. It can be called Kibbutz
It's like a
Galuyot,
cult,
let's
it's
say.
like a light version.
It can be Kibbutz Galuyot, but that's not the Kibbutz Galuyot that the Rambam is talking about, which is that you're able to do all the mitzvot, hakuyot, va'aretz, when you have a majority of the Yidden in Eretz Yisrael. Till then,
That's what it is.
it can be leading up to the Kibbutz
So
Galuyot.
this is
For example, I can give a simple example. Binyan Bet HaMikdash. Building of the Beis HaMikdash. Mashiach needs to build the Beis HaMikdash. When do you call it that he builds the Beis HaMikdash? Imagine he needs to actually build it by himself. Put brick by brick, stone by stone, put the cement, actually build it with his own hands. When do you say he built the Beis HaMikdash? But it's complete, very good. But what's it he's putting the bricks? Is he building the Beis HaMikdash? He's building the Beis
Starting
HaMikdash.
the process of building.
He's building the Beis
Building it.
HaMikdash. He's building it, but is it built?
Not yet.
It's not built.
fully complete.
So the Rebbe we could be having kibbutz galuyot, but these are all pieces of the kibbutz galuyot. The actual kibbutz galuyot could be happening,
Yes.
but that's not the. When is it considered kibbutz galuyot? Is when it's done.
It's officially.
When it's officially done, when you have a majority of the Jews in Eretz Yisrael, then you say kibbutz galuyot. When are you going to say binyan bet hamikdash? When it's built. He's building the Beis HaMikdash. This is he's actually putting the bricks. But when he's finished, that's when you say binyan bet
There's a
hamikdash.
famous story that I heard regarding this. This is a famous Jew from LA, a Persian Jew, very wealthy, that he wanted to take one of the cavemen with a big English in the Vatican. True story. About 15 years ago, he gave $1 million to the Vatican, or to his priest that he got connected with in Los Angeles. And he said, I want to bring out one of the physical entity items of the Beit HaMikdash, one of the cavemen. I know you guys have it. And they claim they do have it. They have a lot of stuff actually. A lot of
I
this.
think
They
they
have
have.
the Taviyat and all that tzaddik. Now other folks that have other things that they stole back in when during the Roman siege, the siege, right? During the
I
siege.
think they have the real. I heard someone saw the real menorah,
Yeah, the actual one.
and it's straight. It's not round. The actual menorah. I
That's what they
heard.
said, yeah, you heard that? It's a straight
I
line.
heard a whole.
What do you mean straight?
I saw a video. It's hard to not the way the
According to
round,
Rambam, yeah.
with the not round.
It goes like
It's like this. It's not like this.
Not a half a
It's
circle.
it
Straight.
goes like a triangle.
Wow.
Like on the front lawn.
Yeah, they're from the apartment door.
Yeah. So what do you?
So he says so he got to a point where he went to the cardinal and the high priest, and he got to New York, to the archbishop, and he got to this guy, and he got to the highest level, like Vayakhel, to like their Rebbe, like their high person. And then at some point, it was like someone said no. Someone said no, we cannot get anything. Someone in the high level of the Vatican said no, we can't get anything that you have here in this lower basement of the Vatican City, whatever, cannot be revealed, cannot be given to anybody. So he said, we're going to give you guys $1 million plus $11 million. He said, no, can I give it to you? The order was, at the end was not given. Promise me this, that, no, can't give it. Okay. You want your money back? He goes, I don't want the money back. What do you mean? I'm giving it to you. He goes, no, keep the money as a dude. Witness and a shamayim. I tried to take one of the kelim out. I'm a millionaire. I don't need to take the money back. This is save it to show that money is going to show a witness to my testimony of me trying to take out a kelim that English from the Vatican. So that story happened about 15 years ago. And ever since then, there's a lot of talk about how they're keeping this stuff. And we can't touch this because we're paying 18. We can't take this until Mashiach comes. Technically, they're holding it for us. So when Mashiach comes, it's going to be
And since
obviously
Rabbi Tomei anyways, Caleb already Tomei
from the fact that the war.
from the Churban.
But we can't. The fact that it has some sort of still a little bit of kedusha, I'm assuming, right? From the
I think
some level.
I think it's already
right.
Rambam
No.
says that they would take out the menorah and then they pretend to show it to everyone on Yom Tov. So people would come down the other whatever, they would take out the menorah
Yeah.
and show it to everyone to see, because no one could go inside.
Sure, no,
Only Kohanim. But show them. But it says I think that they had like a backup and they would need a toy with it because maybe someone touched it or whatever. I remember for some reason, I think it's a short comment from all where it went to handle all the toys. So I don't know how much of a, if it would be Kodesh and you're Tomei, you're
You
Tomei.
have it, I heard that it's incentive of the Gemara to be the house. I heard that. Much of it's true. I heard that.
Then they don't have it. No, the Rambam writes clearly that he buried it with the Aron. With the Aron.
And it's in
Well,
Ethiopia. It's in one Tana. It's in Ethiopia. Yeah, it's on the.
No, Shalom here,
Yes.
they actually buried it.
Yisrael dig the cave.
No, Shlomo no. The Rambam writes, Shlomo Melech.
That's not
When he built the first Beis HaMikdash, it says, Yodash Yosef from Yerushalayim, he knew that it's going to be destroyed.
First
So-
pieces, like the tablets were in there. The first pieces.
The broken
broken
tablets,
tablets.
and the second tablets,
Yeah,
and
so
the Amon, the
Amon,
Mataron,
the Aron.
right.
It's all together.
So the Rambam says he buried everything
Very-
together.
And also I heard that in Ethiopia, because it was during the times of Shlomo Melech, he married Queen Shvat, right?
Okay,
Malkat
Shvat,
Shvat.
right.
So that in that nation, that tribe, took it from him and buried it in Ethiopia somewhere. And there's been like a lot of different theories where it's in Ethiopia, it's hidden in Ethiopia somewhere, or it's hidden in Jerusalem somewhere. There's two different.
The Rambam writes, in Hilchos Beis HaBchira,
Under
the
the
Rambam writes clearly that it's a person. In the Kodesh HaKadoshim,
Yeah.
he made an underground Kodesh HaKadoshim, and he put it over
Put
there.
it there. Latin level.
It's the same place.
Same place, Latin level.
It's going to be taken out. And he says, Shlomo Melech was the smartest person, and he says, what it is, Amukus Vayakhel. He made it extremely, he was the smartest person, he made it extremely
Hard to
impossible. He made it a maze. He said he made a
Sure.
maze and a maze and a maze, like you have to be totally.
Like those, like the Egyptian, like the mummies have these special pyramids, like these different traps, entrapments. You go in and it opens up a door and it doesn't get lost, something like that.
Right, he made it, but what it is, Amukus Vayakhel has been extremely
Different
hard.
access.
And even when people are digging, they try to dig it something they shouldn't. There's many reasons. But he said he hid it for a reason. You know what I'm saying?
Sure,
So
of
don't
Don't try to access it.
Yeah.
Of course.
Sheba
שיבנה בית המקדש מהרה בימינו
This guy's good at that. You did not? You guys did not? Say, let's do it!
Where did you come?
Can I have this for you and Mark? Thank you. For one of them,
Okay, bind it.
And this too, yeah.
Visual.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
I like the Jordan.
I don't know.
Visual. My brother, Visual. Visual's awesome. מה? זה שילוש לרוסית? דבר.
משה, זה רוסי גם? זה נטי של משה רוסי שם? לעצמו. My friend is Georgian.
Oh, Georgia.
Yeah. Israeli Georgian. Yeah. His parents are from Georgia.
That's why for breaking that
Oh, yeah? Is it for bringing us?
Oh, yeah, I saw that. There was one guy, getting married.
Yeah, getting married. So that's
No,
And
like I went to the oil, I just saw the video. Yeah, I saw the video. And by the oil, he saw that I just said, yeah, I know.
Okay. Alright, we're time out right now. Hold on, let's make up for all of it.
I don't do it.
Yeah, okay, wait.